Howdy everyone. Andy here. We're going to be taking a look at the Beastmaster and Beast Creation system within SWG Legends. And first off, I just want to say this is a super complicated system. I am not an expert here. I may give you some bad information, so you have been warned. But if you want to get some really good information, I have two places that you should go. The SWG Legends Discord. There are people there that actually know what they're talking about. And SWG Pets. This is a great source of all the creatures in the game, their stats, what they can learn, where you get the DNA for certain creatures from, what one thing mutates into another. Huge wealth of information here. And also, something really important if you're interested in mutations is the lyase and ISO combination that you need to even try for this. And there's a lot that goes into it. I will touch upon some of it, but let's get started. First thing you need to do is spec into Beastmaster. There's a whole bunch of different guides out there. I don't necessarily recommend copying what I have here, but this is what I have. Once you spec into it, you'll get a DNA extraction skill, and we're going to be using that one here in a little bit. Next thing, you're going to need to get some of the materials that you'll actually make your creature out of. One of the first ones is hydrolase. These are not good hydrolase, not at all. These are trash hydrolase, but they're cheap, and sometimes you can find them on the bazaar for a pretty decent price, between 30 and 60,000 K, and that makes them good for experimenting, learning the system, making mounts, that sort of thing. Next, we're going to use the DNA extraction skill we talked about. Any creature you want to get a sample from, you just run up to them and use it, or you can use it on their corpse, and you're going to have a chance at getting it. Now, the percentage, the purity, does make a difference in this, so you're going to want to pay attention to that. Now, lyase, this is one of the other pieces you need. You'll get these through foraging. These are technically plant enzymes. You're going to run a macro to do that. The macro I use, I should have up on the screen here in just a second. Okay, so here's my macro that I use. It's nothing crazy. It's a small variation on one that you can find on a lot of the forums. I just added a dance to it. I'm sure a lot of people have done that. It works for me, but definitely try things out to see what works for you. So I always find it annoying getting attacked by those things, but I actually got a little trophy this time. I didn't even know this was a drop that they could give, but it's kind of cool. It's definitely going in the Beastmaster area of my house. Yeah, so the next piece you're going to need will be the ISO. ISOs you're going to get through farming mobs or creatures. You're going to want to do level 90 creatures once you're at 90. That way you're getting close to 90% or a little over 90% on the ISOs. These are not maxed out ISOs. These are just what I had the patience to get. This is my little Beastmaster house. So we're going to kind of go through the process. At this point, you need an incubator and a house, obviously. So you're going to open up the incubator. You can see the stats here. This is not a very good one. If you get confused, once you have your incubator, there's a full list of instructions here at the bottom. This is actually really useful. Definitely take a read through that. So you're going to need to add in geothermal resources to power your incubator. And the way you get those is through a little side venture that you have to source out materials and set up harvesters. And the materials will move. And there's a variety of different types, and they have different quality levels. It's a whole mini game in itself, but you'll have to go out and actually harvest those to be able to use inside of your incubator. So once we've added the geothermal energy into the incubator, we can go back in and we can go to Lynn's incubator. This is just going to start everything fresh. You can begin an experimentation phase. And then you can open the incubator, and this is where you're going to take your DNA sample that you have, the best one that you have for whatever creature you're trying to make. You're going to drop it in there, and then close both of these boxes, and go back and right-click on your incubator again. And you should be able to go to, experimentation phase. Now, this is where you're going to drop in your lyase, your hydro, and your ISO. And the temperature, as well as this dial, will control a couple different things. So your temperature, you want to put all the way to the top for DPS, and then aggression and hunter's instinct. If you can max those out, will give you the maximum DPS bonus, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I've been reading. And like I said in the beginning with the disclaimer, I do not know everything on this. You're essentially just going to do this all the way through. If you had better materials than what I started with, you should get more points in that. You should be able to create up to a 60-point pet on the total skills at the end, and you'll be able to see that at like the total points you have. With this one, it's only going to be like an 18-point pet. So this is not a good pet at all, but I still love it. And so let's take a look at what it actually looks like once you form the egg. It's pretty cool. This has been 14 hours in between each session, and there's 3 sessions before you can form the egg. So this has been a day and a half of waiting and managing and babysitting to get this little egg that, as you can see by the stats here, it's not really very good at all. But I want to take a look at it, play with it, level it up. Well, we'll see if I level it up. Definitely at least going to play around with the color a little bit. I have a few beast eyes, and we'll see where that kind of sits. You're going to right-click the egg and harvest it. This will add it to your data pad where your speeders and vehicles and other things like that are. From there, you can add it to whatever heart bar you want, and then just give it a click. And you can see the little guy. Let's see what we can do about that color, though. I don't really like how it looks. There's just so many different options. There's just a lot of cool colors. But, I think this one's going to be it.